Okie dokie, let's go into some ranked games with a random character and see what we're going to get today. And it looks like we're going to have a chaos run with the adventure, because with the bag of giving, we're going to be spending all our gold to generate random items whenever you do enter a shop. We want to save our monies. Save our monies as much as possible. I do see that we start off with a sell blueberries, so grabbing a frying pan, get that bit of extra damage. We could grab the wands. Again, I did want to save our monies, but I think that's going to be nice. I also want to almost try to win around too. Let's take the stone and maybe don't take the pocket sand. Although that's too blind. Yeah, let's take it. Now we could take the wooden buckler too, but we won't be able to fit it in either way. And this is going to be round 1. We're saving our 5 gold to see if we can get a big, awesome item in our next round. Now we are facing a very, very similar opponents. They have a shiny shell for a bit of a heal to get empowered for a little bit more damage. And the spike's going to do some chip damage to us as well. That shiny shell literally saved him, unfortunately. And our blind didn't do a whole lot. Now speaking of crazy, we got ourselves a spear with a goobert. So we could try to go for a card goobert, get tons of power. And that's also a freaking magic badge. Now grabbing badges with the adventure is not the most ideal, but the effect of this, given us a starting mana, is probably the most desirable that we could take. If you want to try to go for Excalibur, that could be awesome. But I'm not sure if I do want to grab it. At the same time, I really need some storage. Like insanely badly. So I'm going to sell our little Walrus Tusk to roll once. We need the storage. Like I said, insanely badly. So I'm going to sell a stone and 2 of our pocket sands to go ahead and take it. And this is going to be our next round. So we're going to use our mana to give us our stamina back. We should be able to heal up like crazy. We should be able to cleanse debuffs. We should be able to deal massive damage. So I think we should be in a decent spot to be able to win out from here. With our gooberts, that's going to be even more heal for us too. And our opponent is going to have a lot of skilling damage with that eye lamp. Also removing our stamina, but I'm glad we do have our spell scroll regrow. Using whatever mana we do generate from our wands and our blueberries to keep us be able to hit our opponents. So are we going to be able to win out? They do skill up some max life with the twine. But this is looking kind of awesome actually. Wait, hold on a second, it could be even worse. It's super close. And holy moly, did I almost have keep my words. Now, that is nice to meet you with a dagger already. It's also false life with lots of heals items, which is kind of nice too. Walrus Tusk I'm probably going to sell. Topaz for stamina is going to be kind of nice at the same time. Deck of cards gives us a little bit of luck, scaling up our accuracy. Do we want to get rid of a Goobert? Goobert does keep us healthy till we get our knife to beat you. Island for some scaling damage. Could be insane. You know what, I'm going to sell the Island. Let's take our knife to beat you. That's a hammer. That is kind of nuts. Looking like we're kind of setting up for something honestly insane. Let's sell you and our spear, and we're taking our hammer today. I wouldn't mind keeping our deck of cards because it is a little bit of luck, but I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell it, and you know, I'm going to venture on. I'm going to venture on with this for the setup. We should be able to have our goober to keep us a little bit more healthy. We should add a card inside our bag of giving because that would stack up some max stamina for us. But once we do reach 8.5 seconds, we should be able to increase our damage. Looking at the spike shield, they're going to eat up a lot of our stamina. Hoping that our blueberries can keep constantly stacking up our mana. And holy moly, do we barely survive that once again. That's kind of insane. And there's no way. We actually got the best freaking item. Literally insane for us. The only problem is we really need this storage. And I'm looking at this Amulet of Violence, and it is fantastic with our gooberts. But at the same time, I really want to sell it. Unfortunately, I do got to sell it. With our little tiny topaz as well. And this is going to be fantastic because we can add in our wand as well. Do we want to grab ourselves a twine? You know what? I might reserve the twine because we could end up going for a dragon. But is this really going to be awesome? Now, we probably should have moved our dagger in beside our gooberts instead of our spell score growth being out this spot. But we'll see how we get on. Because we are going to use up a lot of stamina. This is going to trigger quite nicely. It does give us max stamina as well whenever it does trigger. And right now, our knife to meet you does trigger at about 6.5 seconds. With our vampiric dagger as well, we get crazy heals. Whereas a lot of spikes on our opponent's side, and we barely survive once again. Just barely hanging on every single time. And we got a freaking badger this time. Badger with a shield and a pair of boots. All looking kind of awesome. Now, unfortunately, going to be selling our shields, and I kind of want to sell our boots. If I'm going to be honest, I really do want to keep the badger because the badger is going to be a lot of max life stacking for us. It does use up our mana just a little bit more. But let's sell our boots to go ahead and grab both of these. You want a toad? Not exactly. You want another dagger? Hell yeah. I want all these items. Definitely so. This is kind of a crazy insane run. Now we probably should have put a topaz inside A bloody dagger. Yeah, that's what we should have definitely done. Just moving a little bit too fast. We are facing a Cuberts or Gooberts with a spear, mana mastery. They're going to be setting up for a big mana buffing type situation. But with our setup right now, with our vampirism, with increased damage, with our max life stacking from our badger, I don't see how we're going to be able to lose this one out. And hell yeah. Not bad. Our piggy bank to explode is going to be awesome. We could also go for null blade. But power pop is also kind of crazy. I'm going to sell him though. Now with our dark frenzy, we could craft up a dead loss, which will give us mana, move 3 buffs from opponents, and also use our luck of stamina. What else do you want to grab a fanny pack? Grab the fanny pack, speeding up our badger as much as possible. We do want to crack open this piggy bank. I'm still debating on whether we want this or not. One thing for sure is I do want this dagger. I'm going to sell our little starved Courage to go ahead and take it. We're not going to be able to fit it in just yet. We could also go for a lantern berry, which I have no real interest in. We could also go for that null blade, which I don't necessarily really want to go for either. But let's go ahead and smash open this piggy bank first of all, before adding in our dagger. Now we are facing another badger. Mage, they're going to have blood manipulation, Sir Sands, so they're going to be inflicting some blind on us. We do cleanse a little bit with our cards, so that's going to be awesome. And we'll see how we get on. Tons of vampirism, thanks to our bloody dagger. We do speed up just a little bit, so that's going to be even better for us. If we're going to be honest, we can get tons and tons of heals. We get max life for days as well. And that's a lot of cold on us with that Freeman Sky dice. And a lot of blind. They got lots of heals with the Blessing Purity, with the badger too. And tons of vampirism. And slowing us down is going to be a bit of a problem for us. But right now, it's kind of looking neck and neck, if I'm going to be honest. We do stun him, stopping him from acting. And I'm kind of scared once they do start up with 10 mana or 10 luck, so they can use those ones to start scaling up that empower. That's when they're going to start getting some damage. And right now, we're kind of stuck at a flat damage, and it's not looking great for us unless we get one big smack right now. And we just didn't get it, unfortunately. We do get a piggy bank to explode. That's crits. That's another dagger. And an armored power pop. Well, first of all, another freaking dagger is just crazy. We sell you. We need our stamina bag. We need another dagger in. We're going to be taking crits for days, which means we're going to be selling our power pop. This too. Burning cola we could end up getting rid of too. But let's sell this right now to take our crits. The only problem is I really do want this in beside every single one of our daggers, which means we need something more along the lines like this. Does mean we can have our spell scholar grow, which is not ideal either. I'm going to roll once here. We could go for a heroic pot if we wanted to kind of help with our stamina. But at the same time, I'm going to roll once more. Mana orb we do once. We definitely need this stamina sack. But I am going to rock on once again. Now we could craft up a freaking Blue Sage's Collar. Well, we should be able to get some crits once we start getting some luck. Potentially. Now that is going to be super fast magic. How many mana orbs did this guy? 4 mana orbs? I thought we were hitting the crack nuts. But they also hit the crack nuts. But still our build did manage to win out, which is awesome. Okay. We are on some cracked run. Because that's another dagger. Genuine insaneness. Now, I wish we could actually lock our subclass because I really want to lock this. So we can get in the next round. Because we're definitely 100% taking Fedora because this is going to give us our starting luck, which means we're going to get guaranteed crits from the get-go with our acorn collar. It's going to use up some luck, but at the same time, we have so much daggers, it's kind of insane. Now this really wants to sit in here, we still get the same speed, which honestly is probably going to be better for us if we do keep it like this. But the question is, what the hell are we going to sell to get a Fedora? Because you sell for 3, you sell for 6. We do want to keep both of these as well to speed up both our daggers. We could use them with stamina. We could get rid of our wands. I mean, I really want all the storage. We sell this 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 golds, 11 gold. Well, if we sell our puzzle bag of energy, first of all, we sell our wands. I really do want to keep our spell scholar growth so we can keep our stamina going, but we might need to sell it. And unfortunately, we do need to sell it. Let's sell both of these for now, and let's take our Fedora. The only thing is we do need this beside our hammer, but we can't really afford to add it in just yet. Snow cake is a food item, which we could take too. We can have this here, giving us a little bit of luck from the get-go. We could also have it slightly better placed, which is going to be awesome because that's going to be 3 luck. It's not too crazy by any means, but it's going to be enough luck that we get some crits, and we should be able to guarantee that we hit with our hammer. We also get some gemstones with our box for our Spirit Sea. I'm still speeding up our vampiric daggers, because we want this to be going fast as possible so we get crazy heals. And we don't necessarily really want to be stealing buffs with a Fedora. We kind of just want our crits so we can smash our opponents with a hammer dagger action. And they're dealing massive damage right now. And amazing. What are we going to get? Okay, I like Gooberts. Do we want to just get rid of our Gooberts altogether and place in a light Gooberts? Maybe. Give us back our puzzle bag of energy. Now, I still want to move our Fedora to this side because then we can guarantee or increase the stun chance with a Fedora. Am I crazy for wanting to keep this Goobert just in case we're going to go for a Dragonite? Yeah, I'm going to hold on to it, but I'm going to venture on once again. Going to venture on once again with this sort of setup. We should be able to get our knife damage to trigger 4.5 seconds, which is madness. We're not going to get our instant crit damage. And we do need to stack up way more luck. So we need to find ourselves unique, but that's massive damage. And hell yeah, not bad. Once again, taking out that Jinx Staff adventure. Okay, speaking of insane, we literally got the best amulet we could have gotten. We also got Turn Burst so we can stun our opponents. If we stack up spikes, we also got ourselves Fortuna's Kiss, which will stun our opponents anyway. More stamina back with our Rat Chef, which is insane by the way. I still think I'm going to get rid of our Light Goobert as mad as it is. I might take Fortuna's Kiss so we can increase our stun chance, which I think is going to be super valuable for us. And the rope, I'm going to sell because I do want to grab our stamina sack. The only problem I have right now with a setup is I do like a Fedora being in this spot. Increasing our stun chance along with a Fortuna's Kiss, we can stun our opponent like crazy. Crit's not the most ideal position, we could move this slightly over just a little bit. And potentially have this here, which might actually be better for us. We got tons of gemstone, and with our setup, we won't be able to get some gemstones from Brock's Prosperity, unfortunately. And I really do want those gemstones really badly. So do we want our Fedora in here, or do we want to place it back where we had it before? In this spot, which is not as good, but at the same time, it's going to give us our starting luck. We're going to get our gemstones. We need that luck so we can lifesteal with our Hunger Blades. Say Hunger Blades or Hunger Daggers. We deal massive damage. And smashing. I mean, how do we get better than this? Just grab ourselves a Dragon Egg. I think that's probably going to be one way we do manage to win out. Also, 30% increased stun chance from this goes from 45% to about 60%, because 30% of this is going to be about 15%. And we also got ourselves an Amulet of Feasting, which is kind of nice because it will speed up our food items. The doggo I might sell for a fanny pack, because more than anything I want to speed up our Rat Chef so we can keep our stamina going for days. Means we can't get a mana orb just yet, so we could also take the magic badge because that is going to be a 1-slot unique item that gives us starting mana for our Spectral Dagger, but it also gives us a ton of... Yeah, no, I'm going to take it. Those cost us 5 golds, but at the same time I think it's still going to be super worth it. But right now we do skill up our Vampirism thanks to our bloody daggers, which means we're going to get crits no matter what. Then we use up our luck, which we do end up losing up some of our lifesteal, but we want those crits more than that lifesteal. And this is looking kind of insane, is it not? Definitely so. And that's a freaking chain up, which this is one of the first times I'm going to be like, frick it, let's sell it. Now this item is actually awesome because we can increase the time we stun our opponents also with our hammer. So by having this in, we're going to have a longer stun time at the same time. Now you're 2 luck. Let's sell you. Let's go and grab this. And let's actually place that down below. Well, we could slightly place it over and have it in here, which makes a lot more sense. The deck of cards we do want to add in as well. Live a blind doesn't matter too much. And we could have also went for a King Goobert, but let's get going once again. The Fedora not targeting her hammer is insane, by the way. Because 58.5% chance to stun opponents. We could have it increased again with a Fedora. But we do need that starting luck really badly. More than anything. And this actually bet out. This poison stacking dark ritual, poison spirit type situation with some big old explosions. But in terms of DPS, we do have about 80 DPS being our spectral daggers, bloody daggers, hammers, all adding up to being quite big DPS. In terms of heals, we do have a 70 healing per second. Thanks to our Vampirism for days, our Red Collar also putting in some work for us too. And in terms of block, we don't have a whole lot of block. But I do think we can actually make this crazier. Especially with our luck, it's kind of nuts. And especially with our luck, we could take a Goobert. So we could say, frick the Dragonite. We sell you and our Goobert to go ahead and take our Gooberts. of all the things we're going to be taking. So this is going to be insanely better for us. Fedora increasing the chances that our Cubert does activate is going to be awesome. We're going to use our Fedora on our hammer right now again, which means we should have about a 70 to 65% chance to stun our opponents, which is going to be nice. We got our ticket cards back again, which is kind of funny. And I'm not sure if he wants our Cubert to try to get as much power as possible by having our daggers and hammers activated on it, or do we want to try to get as much regen as possible, because honestly, the way we have it is probably going to be our best bet. Now, gemstones again, it's going to be a bit tough to stack up the way we have it, so we might actually move this over to this position. So we just get that extra bit of a gemstone just for the next rounds. Lantern berry, I'm going to sell. So we're going to grab ourselves a mana orb. Now, do we want to craft up? This blue collar? Because the blue collar could be just mana generation for days. Is that going to be something we want? It does help us scale up our luck then. Yeah, I'm going to be going for it. I'm going to be going for an end slot maybe in this spot here. Maybe move that up just a little bit and have it more so like this. But at the same time, we do need to increase our stun chance on our hammer as much as possible. Well, let's get going once again. So we start off with a little bit less luck with a Fedora, but that should be okay. 69% chance to stun our opponents with the hammer. And with our Cubert, we're going to be stacking up our power. So increasing our damage, we get a lifesteal, and this is looking kind of insane. Because with our Cuberts, we should go from 65% chance to an 80% chance to get those buffs. So honestly, this is looking kind of a crazy insane. Remember when I was talking about Dragonite? We just straight up get a Dragonite. There's no way that we just got a Dragonite. That is insane. So we can try to prioritize crits on our Dragonite, or have our Dragonite being an activator for our Cuberts, which might not be that bad either. Because you're going to be going extremely fast for us. We can put this back in here as well. Do we want to move this around just a little bit? We can stack up a lot of mana from here too. I mean, this is kind of insane, is it not? I don't see how we're going to put a red color on our Dragonite. It's going to have to do this way. Definitely not the best activators for our Dragonite. But you're also going to reflect some debuffs. You're going to heal us for insane amounts. That's a lot of heal reduction on us. We need to get our power stacked up. That Buster Blade could potentially one-shot us. Never mind. We just stun our opponent for infinite amounts of time. And that's kind of insane. Now we could, if we're happy enough, move on to something like this. So we get our crits, we get our lifesteal on our Dragonite being in this spot. That's probably going to be our best outcome. But Cubert's not going to be the most ideal spot. We still want our Fedora on our hammer. Maybe we need to place it in here instead. But at the same time, if we want to sacrifice the crits, I mean, our Fedora is really awesome still in this spot. I think that's going to be phenomenal for us. We can slightly move it over. That's going to be even better. Again, Dragonite's not going to get the crits, which is not ideal either way. But at the same time, is it going to matter too much? Because with our Dragonite, he's going to be going extremely fast down below, which should be amazing. And we should be able to scale up a lot of damage for ourselves from here too. Now, I kind of want to move this up top so we can get crazy mana from here too. But at the same time, I want that starting luck as much as possible. We could take the Toad. We could also take the Rainbow Badge. It's not going to do a whole lot for us except give us our luck, which I'm kind of down for. It's literally the worst unique we could take. But at the same time, there's only a few rounds left. It gives us one of every buff. It gives us crazy luck from our Fedora, and with our Toad, yeah, these items are going to be wanting to take. So Dragonite, going to be just going fast as possible from our Cuberts. He should be amazing. We should be able to stack up our power. We should be able to deal massive damage and just have crazy stun chance and smashing. I'm going to be crafting up another Spectral Dagger. How about we just grab another Toad for free? That's kind of insane. Let's sell the storage, let's sell you two, let's go ahead and take our Rainbow Badge. Place this in here for now, move this also slightly over so we can have our Toad in this spot too, targeting both our Dragonite, which doesn't really use up buffs. Not ideal, but with our Cubert, they're going to be both using up buffs, but giving us buffs, with a Fedora doing pretty much the same thing also. So I'm not sure if we're going to want to take this extra Toad. The Toad could be kind of nice. Once, you know what, I'm going to sell you, and we are going to take it, but we can't really take it just yet, unless we sell our Twine, this too, and then place this in up top, which I think is going to have to do for now. So again, you're going to be going fast, we're going to get tons of buffs, we're going to be refunding every bit of regen we do use. We should have infinite regen, we should have no problem, and amazing. Definitely so. Now speaking of even more insane, that is another puzzle bag endurance, increase our stun once again. We gotta take it. It does slow down our hammer. We're gonna sell our ice armor because we don't necessarily really want it. But that means we're gonna slow down our hammer, which is not what I want, but having 60% increased stun time is gonna be too good not to add in. Now I also want to grab this because more vampirism is gonna be crazy good for us. The repeater, not sure if we do want that. We could get an insane amount of luck. Maybe that might actually be better than a rainbow badge, but we want to be going fast either way. So we're going to sell these. Sell these. If we take it, we could get our luck again, but I'm going to roll. I'm going to roll right now. That's our dragon egg, which we did want to grab up Dragonite. However, we got him for free. And I'm just going to rock on with this. Not going to waste any more golds. We should be in a pretty good spot to be able to win out. Maybe. We are facing a Null Blade, which is going to be moving a lot of our buffs. As long as they don't take our Vampirism or Empower, we should be able to win out. Especially if we stun our opponents for almost a full second at the same time. That is genuinely crazy insane to me. Now I'm looking at this bag and I'm wondering how the frick we're going to fit it in, because if we place it on our Q-Berts, we can stack up potentially a lot of more buffs. I'd also love to add this in right here so we can speed up our Dragonite even more, but I don't think that's going to be super worth it because it is only during Battle Rage. We sell this, we sell our card, we roll again. It is the final round so we can't craft anything. I'm looking at this protectable person, I'm kind of tempted to take that also. But I'm not sure if we're going to be able to fit this in. We could place it in up top so we get a little bit more mana. That could be more ideal for us. And maybe generate up a little bit more mana, especially with our Blue Sage's Collar. Using up our luck too. We take this little bit of storage, we sell you, and do we keep our cheese right now as well? I mean, it is kind of awesome, is it not? Scaling up some max life gives us more buffs. It also gives us more max stamina. It speeds up our Rat Chef, which is amazing at the same time. And we could finally take our Twine back, which is kind of funny. Have it here so we can stack up maybe some max life too. Let's roll one more time, and that's it. But I really didn't expect to be playing such a crazy Fedora hammer dagger type action with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 daggers. With our Knife to Meet You to give us crazy damage as well. With our Q-Bert to scale up crazy damage with a Dragonite. Especially with a Fedora with a super long stun hammer type action. Let's go and see if it's going to be good enough to be able to win out. Are we going to be able to beat this poison stacking with some crits, with skills? They're going to be inflicting a lot of debuffs. They also got a lot of healing reduction, which is going to be huge counter to us. But as long as we stun them for 0.8 seconds, I mean, how are they going to recover from that? Because they don't activate for almost a full second. So within 5 seconds, we stun them for a second and a half. But they are kind of beating us back just a little bit. We kind of need to stun them again. Who am I kidding? It didn't matter. We just smash them. Because we scale up a lot of power, each dagger is going to be dealing 25 DPS, 23 DPS, 22 DPS. Yeah, we dealt a lot of damage. So in terms of damage, how much did we actually get? 120 DPS, and opponents did have damage reduction with the cap discomfort also. In terms of heals, we still managed to 30 healing per second, even with all this healing reduction, almost 100% healing reduction at the end of it. So to have that insane amount of heals is absurd. In terms of max life gain, we only got 71, which is not too crazy, and in terms of block, massive 45 block. What an insane build. The hammer dagger action, giving us with 5 lives, giving us 25 rank points in Diamond, or rank us back up to Masters once again. Hell yeah. Leaving us at 15. But anyways, I'm gonna have to leave you here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even subscribing. And I hope to keep looking for the next one. I'll see you next time. Okay, we're back into round 18 fights, and we're gonna see how we can deal with some other builds. We are facing a heat stacking, blind stacking type build. But again, we have crazy luck. Crazy luck, we can steal their heat and speed up our whole situation as well. And it's amazing. And can we deal with this Berserker rocking brass knuckles? Maybe. They're going to have enchanted weapon, they're going to be blocking our damage with the spiked wall. Spiked wall is going to be kind of tasty. Blocking our damage, eating up our stamina, which could be a bit troublesome. And you know what? They're actually putting up quite a good fight. But can we keep up? Hell yeah, we can. And can we finally deal with this dancing dragon type situation? They're going to get a vulnerability, which kind of stops us from doing our thing. From bursting down instantly. We also got crazy damage reduction, but once the damage reduction has ended, and their vulnerability, yeah, that's where we do manage to smash it.